So this first drill we're doing is geared more towards the 4, 5, 6-year-old kid that walks in for the first time. Could be his first time picking up a bat, swinging at a ball. So it's going to be the starting point for teaching a little kid how to swing a baseball bat.
Yep. So the first thing I'm going to do with Jack, I'm going to treat him as if he was 4, 5, 6. Obviously he's not. He's way too big for that. He'd be a pretty big 6-year-old.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do with him is I'm going to put him through basically what I do with my 4, 5, and 6-year-olds coming into me, because I do get a lot of them. The main thing I want them to do is just to get their bodies lined up properly. And as a young player, they don't think about that all the time. So you have to constantly remind them, hey, you got to straighten your feet. So that'll be the first thing I tell Jack to do is go ahead, you can stand up at the plate. So I'm going to take a look at his toes. If his toes are crooked, I'm going to correct them. So if his toes are like that, I got no problem. I'll come down here, I'll straighten his toe out, I'll straighten his other toe out, and I'll let him know. So that's where his feet needs to be. His toes are perfectly straight. The next thing I tell him to do is get his hands up. So little kids, depending on the bat size or their strength, they tend to have the bat down a lot. We try to get their hands up with the elbow up as well. That just gives them more leverage when they swing the bat. So I'm going to have Jack get his hands up a little bit. Good. His back elbow's up. All right. And a good rule of thumb, we always want to have the back elbow above the front. Or at least even. So Jack is a player that likes to have his elbow up. Next thing I would do is talk about his eyes. That's an important one too. They need to be able to see the ball with level eyes. So you'll see a lot of young guys with their head crooked like this. It makes it a lot more difficult for them to see. And then the most important thing, believe it or not, for a 4, 5, and 6-year-old is they need to swing hard. So a lot of kids live with fear of swinging and missing, and that's normal. That's every kid. We want to get them past that as fast as we can. So even if they don't hit it square, or they don't really hit it hard, or they swing and miss, the encouragement of them swinging hard makes them want to do it more. And now all of a sudden their swing gets better as a result. So I'm going to tell you, swing as hard as you can. Okay?
Feet straight,
hands up and back.
Eyes level.
Yep. Perfect. That's right. And you will see that a lot. You'll see a lot of kids, they won't hit the ball exactly how they want, but that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me for the young player is that they swing hard all the time. Down the road, I'll be able to fix their swing. Swing hard. There you go. Nice. How many? A couple more?
Yes, like one more.
One more. Swing hard. Feet straight, hands, elbow, eyes. Very good.
All right, so this next drill would be introduced to more of the older side of the younger age kids that we're doing, more about 8 to 11 years old. It's not that it's much more advanced, but what's the reason for it being towards the older side a little more?
Well, the main thing with the young guys, again, is to make sure that they learn how to use their bodies properly. And the best players, the best hitters who have the best swings have good head positions. So that's something that we really drill away at our young guys, is you got to keep your head down on your finish. And that doesn't mean literally keep your head down. It just means be conscious of your head coming off where you're watching the ball go, because as soon as my head pulls, then all kinds of stuff happens that I don't want. So to simplify it for a young guy, this is a drill that I would do. It's called the T-touch. And there's a fun fact. This is a drill that Derek Jeter used to do all the time. There is a Arizona Diamondback scout that I'm good friends with. His name is Cash, and he picked this up from Derek Jeter. So I've started incorporating it into my lessons here. And yes, you can start as young as 8, 9, even 10 years old with this drill. So
even as a salty Red Sox fan, that's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool.
Even if I was a Red Sox fan,
trust me. Jeter's got my respect.
Yes. What he's going to do is he's going to take his swing, and all he's going to think about is when he's finished, he's going to take his top hand off the bat, and he's going to touch the tee. And I'll explain why after he does the first couple. All right, so.
And the opening drill remains consistent in this one.
Yes.
Feet straight forward, hands up, elbow back, eyes straight forward.
Yes.
Like it's a pitch coming in.
Yep. Good. And the cool thing about this drill too, I know Jack wasn't too thrilled with that swing, but at least he got direct feedback from the swing. So if you saw the ball hooked into the ground, which means he hit the wrong part of the ball, and he needs to focus more on the inside part, not the outside. Perfect fix right there. So he kept his shoulder close, he kept his head down, and the ball went right where he wanted it to, which is up the middle to the right side, which is where you want to go. Beautiful, that's perfect. All right, so you can see the flight of the ball will tell you what your swing's doing. So those last two that he did, he fixed the shoulder, and he also focused on hitting the inside part of the ball. And all that does is it cleans the bat path up. Now, a 9, 10, 11-year-old doesn't have to understand that, but if he feels it and he gets direct feedback, he's going to let me know, like, wow, I felt the difference. I felt the difference there, you know, and I would tell him, okay, we'll keep doing that. And if you take a bad swing, now you can use that drill to get you back to where you were.
So the two drills you just saw were from a tee, obviously a stationary ball, it's not moving. A big part of the game is the fact that the ball is being thrown to you. And even as you get older, even though this is aimed towards younger kids, you know, you get to the pro level, there's guys throwing 100 miles an hour at you. So hitting a moving ball is obviously the basis of the game. So we want to show you how to, like, a good drill approaching hitting a moving baseball. This is going to be good for the younger audience because it's really just showing one compact movement. It's not focusing on a bunch of moving parts at once. You will see as we demonstrate it that it's pretty simple. It's just showing your path to the ball and your swing. Everything like we said in the first drill, obviously. This is nothing new to him. Feet pointed, straight forward, hands back, elbow up, eyes ready. And what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to have him imagine that he's already loaded. So he's going to put his weight down on his front side. This is it, right? Yeah. Yep. So you put the weight down on the front side, keep everything in the back like this. Yep. So you should look like this. You should be balanced. You shouldn't be tipping over or backward. You should be playing a lot of weight right here in this foot to keep you stationary. And he's going to stay like that. There's not going to be any step, any load, any rock back, anything. So he's going to start in that position, and I'm going to toss a ball to him, and all he's going to do is do his movement straight to the ball. In this movement, he wants to focus on, obviously, a good bat path. He wants to keep his eye on the ball, and mainly he just wants to swing down and make good, solid contact. Explaining that to a younger kid, I might not word it exactly that way, but essentially what we're doing here is we're just seeing the ball and we're hitting it. But it's just showing the movement from your load to your swing. It's a lot easier for a younger kid to process. So here we go. Position, there we go. Tap position. Let's just do one more.
Sure. That one I caught out a little more out front.
Locked in that position. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to have him weight in it a little bit just so we can work on his balance, make sure he's working from that position. We've got him waiting a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So as you can see, it's a very straightforward drill. There's really no gray area. You get in your position, lock in that position. When the ball comes, drive it. All right, that didn't work.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
How'd that feel?
Oh.
Give him a shove.